Good morning and welcome to the state of Beaver County at the Fez in Hopewell Township. I'm Mike Romai from Beaver County Radio. The annual State of the County broadcast is something that we do. We bring it to you, and we're bringing it to you on both of our stations, actually all of our stations, 1230 WBVP and 99.3 FM and the Beaver. So you'll be able to hear and understand what this eclectic group of people are going to be talking about this morning as far as the state of the county is concerned. Where are we going in 2025? Where have we been, and what do we have to look forward to? We've seen a mix of county officials here so far. See Jack Manning, Beaver County Commissioner Chairman Dan Camp is also here this morning. I saw State Senator Elder Vogel in the crowd, and former State Representative Jim Marshall is here. I haven't seen the present commissioners at this point, but I'm sure we'll be seeing them come in. And as far as the state representatives are concerned, we're expecting to see perhaps Josh Kale come in, and Roman Kozel should be here as well. But they're going to be talking about all the different things that Beaver County has to be proud of, and also things that may be coming in the next 12 months. Lance Grable, the Beaver County Chamber President, is here. The moderator will be asking questions of the elected officials in terms of what they're going to be able to bring to Beaver County. And of course, that's what everybody wants to know. What are you going to bring to Beaver County? How is it going to help the quality of life here? And are we going to be able to help businesses prosper in Beaver County? The setup is a little different this year. In years past, what we've had was the commissioners sitting at the dais and the moderator asking questions one by one. This is set up differently in that there will be two officials sitting at the head table, and they will talk between each other, followed by the next two candidates coming in here. We understand that Beaver County Commissioner Tony Amadeo is not going to be here today, so we do have Dan Camp, who will be up there, as well as Jack Manning. The annual State of the County broadcast is being brought to you by the Fry Transportation Group. I saw Mr. Fry here this morning already. Falcone's Moon Township Ford, McGee Heating and Air Conditioning, J. Young Refuse, St. Barnabas Health System, the cornerstone of Beaver County. Saw Marie Tampano in the crowd this morning. The Latham Group at eXp Realty, the Beaver County Chamber of Commerce, and Beaver County Radio. So we'll take our first break, and then we'll come back and hopefully be able to talk with some of the folks down on the floor. We'll interrupt their breakfast to get a few words from them on Beaver County Radio.
Looking for that special home or wanting to sell yours? Let the Lisa Latham team, brokered by eXp Realty, help you. Hi, I'm Tank Latham, and our goal is to make you feel comfortable whether buying or selling. Lisa and I strive to make the process as smooth and as easy as possible. We invite you to visit the all-new eXp office located at 926 3rd Avenue, New Brighton. Give us a call at 724-307-5472. Check out Beaver County Home Inventory on our website, lisalatham.com. The Lisa Latham team, results that move you.
We have Art Cornell here from the Beaver Cemetery and Mausoleum. Art, what's new at the cemetery?
We've just completed a new addition to the mausoleum with above-ground burial crypts, indoor and outdoor niches, and family areas. The Beaver Mausoleum advantages include no plot maintenance, the convenience of a heated and air-conditioned building for visitation, and an adjoining private chapel. It's a perfect final resting place for your loved ones.
Thanks, Art. Beaver Cemetery and Mausoleum, serving all of Beaver County since 1865.
Put freedom in your future. Freedom United Federal Credit Union in Rochester.
Lincoln Park Performing Arts Center in Midland presents Tom Sawyer, a ballet, a new musical adventure of an American classic for the entire family. Opening February 20th, presented by Clearview Federal Credit Union. For tickets, visit lincolnparkarts.org.
There's lots to look forward to with the brand new year, but having your furnace break down isn't one of them. Baby, it's really cold outside, and that could spell trouble when it comes to your HVAC. It's comforting to know that McGee Heating and Air Conditioning is always ready to help. They have everything it takes to keep you safe and warm this winter. In business since 1965, family-owned and operated, McGee Heating and Air Conditioning, Main Street, Aliquippa. Call 724-375-5181 for repair or a free estimate today.
Tune in to Beaver County Radio 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP every Monday and Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. for Thinking Logically with Joe Corsai. It is an all-new show that takes a look at the conservative side of politics. Thinking Logically is also presented on the WBVP-WNBA Facebook page and YouTube channel. That's Thinking Logically with Joe Corsai each and every Monday and Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on Beaver County Radio.
Looking for an elevated dining experience with a lively bar atmosphere? Jackson's Restaurant and Bar in Monaca is your go-to destination. Join Jackson's for Thursday Night Live, featuring top-notch local music. At Jackson's, they serve modern American cuisine with a fresh flair. Perfect for lunch, dinner, and now Sunday brunch from 10 to 2, plus Sunday dinner from 2 to 6. Located near the Beaver Valley Mall, adjacent to the Hilton Garden Inn, Jackson's is the perfect venue for your next wedding, bridal shower, birthday, or anniversary. Visit jacksonsbeavervalley.com for details.
When accidents and injuries happen, you need the experience and insight of the legal team at Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George. Since 1934, they've been committed to the physical and financial recovery of personal injury victims. Why choose the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George? Attorney Larry Kelly explains.
First of all, we've been AV rated by Martindale Hubbell. It's the highest rating you can get for legal ability and ethics, and that comes from our peers. We have board-certified civil trial specialist, which is like another bar exam. Would you go to a doctor who is not board-certified? Probably not. I've always said, and I tell my daughters, I have 3 daughters who are attorneys. Those in the profession know. The lawyers of LGKG have the respect of our peers, and that's all I ever cared about.
For your free initial consultation, call the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George at 724-658-8535 or online at lgkg.com. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George, keeping promises for over 80 years.
Hi, folks. I'm with our good friend John Diagardi from Roe Monument. John, you were telling me earlier that people really should not rush into choosing a memorial for their loved one. Now, why is that?
We found that families need to take ample time to grieve first. Grief is not something that we get over, but rather something that we learn to live with. So the length of time to grieve varies from person to person.
You mentioned that the monument can't be placed right away.
That's right. There are certain things that need to take place before a monument can be installed. So it's really worth taking time to think about how to plan and design a memorial that truly reflects a person's life. It's actually a healing activity that helps to alleviate grief.
John, this makes a lot of sense.
It does. And when the time is right to proceed, not only can Roe Monument help families choose and design their memorial, we can help them save as much as 50% by eliminating the middleman.
Thank you, John. Folks, you can learn more simply by visiting RoeMonuments.com.
It's a new year. Maybe it's time for a new vehicle from Falcone's Moon Township Ford. Your welcome will always be warm and inviting when you visit Moon Township Ford. The easiest resolution to keep this year is the resolution for better transportation. That's because Falcone's Moon Township Ford has made a resolution themselves. A resolution that is to provide the very best selection, the very best service, and the very best pricing in the entire area. Start the year off right for even less when you qualify for first responder, military, or college student purchase programs. Visit moontownshipford.net to find out more, or make a resolution yourself to visit the state-of-the-art showroom located on University Boulevard across from Robert Morris. Moon Township Ford has over 150 cars, trucks, crossovers, and SUVs in stock to choose from right now. Resolve for a bright and prosperous new year by starting off in a bright and beautiful vehicle from Moon Township Ford.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
I was there yesterday before I was on to ask the commissioners. It's my monthly routine to make sure I go to Athens first and then head to the radio station.
Bacon and cheese omelet.
Everything's good there. They usually know what I want as soon as I walk through the door.
So. Commissioner, what is the future of Beaver County? What is the state of Beaver County as you see it now?
Well, as I'm going to say in a few minutes, first of all, it's fiscally sound and stable. We overcame a lot of obstacles. When I came into office 5 years ago, inherited a court-mandated reassessment, which we knew was going to be tumultuous. 2 months in, there was a global pandemic, which has left us with inflation and labor shortages and all kinds of ancillary problems that we're still dealing with. And despite all of that, we're fiscally sound and solid, haven't raised taxes, got through the reassessment, and moving forward. The economic development, the interest in Beaver County is as strong as I've ever seen it, Mike. And I've been here 25 years on this interest in our brownfield sites. But then you just look at Ambridge and Beaver Falls and Monaca and our downtowns. They've clearly had the tipping point of moving forward and coming back from decades of decline. So I'm excited about the future of Beaver County. We are finally getting to the point to sell the great assets and amenities that we have. Our proximity to Pittsburgh and Cleveland, 2 rivers run through us, the turnpike runs through us, and all of those things, the power supply that we have, which is vitally important not only to advanced manufacturing, but any of the small business entities and things that we want to do. So we're taking advantage of that. I think we're differentiating ourselves from other counties in the Pittsburgh metropolitan area, and we've moderated our population decline, still have issues there, but our economic growth is on the uptick. So I'm as bullish as I've ever been on the county and where it is.
And as far as the businesses that are coming in, what kind of programs do you see in terms of employment? Because everybody wants to say, where's the jobs?
Yeah. Well, it's mixed. There's advanced manufacturing, and that's where CCBC and Geneva and Penn State Beaver come in with upskilling people and making sure they have the right credentials. There's a lot more technical jobs that'll be coming in, data-oriented jobs. As a result of some of the fiber optics and the connectivity that we're doing and the broadband and internet issues that we're trying to solve in the infrastructure, still a ton of construction and labor jobs, traditional jobs that need to be done. And I'm pleased to see places like the Career and Technology Center having an uptick in enrollment to make sure we have enough welders and carpenters and electricians and the like to. It's my buddy Lance. Yeah. So it's kind of a mixed bag. And then there's trucking. I mean, BMAC trucking, PGT trucking. Trucking is still a big, vibrant part. We still need CDL licensed drivers and the like. So it's really a mixed bag. But they're all good family-sustaining wages that are happening here.
Jack, is it going to be difficult? Because I know that one project you guys talked about at the meeting the other day, Darlington, where the money's on hold now, that they're supposed to do some environmental things. And also we're right now we're at the point where the monies from COVID and all that stuff that have been so beneficial to not only businesses but agencies in Beaver County is done at this point.
Yeah, there aren't any reserves, right? So we did our final report of where we've allocated all of the almost $92 million that came in of the ARPA funds. I'm proud to say that 78, almost 80% of that money went back out into the community. A lot of it directly to the municipalities for specific projects they had to build their infrastructure, like Darlington, like a water line, and those kinds of issues, to the emergency radios for police and fire, for broadband, where we're spending, about $15 million to make sure we're connected there. Public health and safety, so a lot of those things. Very little of it. We could have taken over half of that money by law, by the way the thing's written, for our own coffers. We haven't done that. We put it back out in community. So we have enough reserves that for some very specific capital projects that we have continuing, like we just talked about, like how do we house the stuff that's unhoused at the hazmat garage or emergency services, have small projects like that, and continue to invest in the upgrade and the upkeep of the buildings and grounds that we do have, our parks and everything. So we have enough to do that, but it's not unlimited, and it really does create I have 5 requests from different nonprofits for stipends to help them over the hump. Right. And I've got nothing I can offer them at this point in time.
Over the course of the months, you've done that.
We've done it for the last 3 years, and we've kind of exhausted that pool to help out those and some small businesses the way we'd like to. But there's still other opportunities to hopefully get some of that stuff done.
You couldn't have taken any of that money to renovate your office? New carpeting, wallpaper.
No, I inherited a very fine office when I came in. So
Yeah.
all I did is put a couple of Manny's pictures up on my wall. Emmanuel Studios there, tremendous photographer, great guy.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to him earlier too. So
We'll look forward to hearing what you have to say
all right,
ideas.
always a pleasure. Thank you,
Always
Mike.
good to see you. Commissioner Jack Manning here at the State of Beaver County Breakfast, sponsored by the Beaver County Chamber of Commerce. They are going to be speaking. Breakfast is about finished, so there will be speakers coming up, and we hope to talk to many of those speakers. Right now it's 8:27, and can I grab Lance Grable? Lance? No, he's going the other direction. He must have seen me here with a microphone. So we'll go back to our sponsors of this program and then continue here from the Fez for the state of the county.
When you talk about community involvement and safety, the name Fry stands at the forefront in Beaver County. Fry Transportation's mission is to continue to raise the bar as the gold standard in their industry by providing the safest, most reliable, and cost-efficient transportation service in Beaver County through their strong relationships with their communities, best-in-their-class drivers, equipment, and technology. There's nothing more important than the safety of their students, employees, and community members. Fry Transportation, where the quality of their organization is characterized by the makeup of the individual behind the wheel.
Looking for home services? Call Patriot Home Care in Beaver Falls. Their staff provides company, conversation, and companionship to all patients, ensuring medications are taken on time, participating in fun community activities, personal care, meal prep, and light household work are all services provided by Patriot Home Care, all thanks to the hardworking and selfless team members. Call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or stop in Patriot Home Care, 1225 7th Avenue, Beaver Falls.
J. Young Refuse and Industry is proud to be an integral part of Beaver County for the past 35 years. Featuring a wide range of recycling services for contracted areas, they are sure to help you get the job done. The J. Young Refuse team of professional drivers consistently exceed safety and service throughout the day, while their customer service representatives take professionalism to the next level. J. Young Refuse and Industry offers both commercial and residential pickup as well. Call them today at 724-495-6199 with any questions. That's 724-495-6199.
Looking for a quick and easy lunch or dinner idea? Stop by your local McDonald's now and pick up a $5 meal deal. You'll get a McDouble or a McChicken, 4-piece nuggets, small fries, and small soft drink, all for only $5. You'll love it and your family will too. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
If you or someone you know is experiencing homelessness or a housing-related crisis in Beaver County, help is just a call away. The Cornerstone of Beaver County provides a pathway home through emergency shelter, housing and utility assistance, and basic needs. To access help or to support the Cornerstone of Beaver County's work to ensure housing and hope for everyone in our community, visit cornerstonebeaver.org or call 724-846-6400.
Lincoln Park Performing Arts Center in Midland presents Tom Sawyer, a ballet, a new musical adventure of an American classic for the entire family. Opening February 20th, presented by Clearview Federal Credit Union. For tickets, visit lincolnparkarts.org.
All right, at the State of the County, sponsored by the Beaver County Chamber of Commerce, newly elected representative for the 14th Legislative District, Roman Kozak, is here. Good morning and congratulations on your win.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
It's
I
been
appreciate
a couple
that.
of months now.
Yeah.
How you feeling about it?
Good. There's a lot to learn. We hit the ground running right in December, and we just had the budget address this week, so we've got a lot of work to do in the next months coming ahead. So.
All right, so how do you feel about the state of the county at this point?
I'm excited. I'm optimistic. I think there's a lot of great things happening here, a lot of opportunity, a lot of potential, especially with some of the things that are going on in Allegheny County and people looking for other places to go. So I think we have opportunity here for business and for our families. And
that applause was for you, by the way.
Oh.
You didn't notice it?
No, I didn't notice that.
Roman Kozak. No. And you've already started to get money back for the district.
Well, you know, that money that came in through Neighborhood Assistance Program for the Beaver Falls Community Development Corporation. So it's exciting to see that. We need to help redevelop our main streets and the areas that have blight, and they have a they have a good perspective. So
yeah, very good.
yeah,
It's good to see you. Looking
good to see
dapper
you.
here today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I usually saw you in a shirt with your name on it.
That's right.
No family.
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
name
it's
is
so
not-
vain, isn't it? I know.
Oh, no, very good. Good to see you.
All right.
Congratulations
Thank
again.
you. Thank
Roman Kozak, the newly elected representative for the state from the 14th District. Lance Grable is now introducing the crowd.
First off, I want to start by thanking our sponsors. And what I'd like to do, if I mention your name, got to put my glasses on because I'm old. When I mention your name, just if you don't mind just raising your hand, I think it's really important for everybody here to understand the different, all the different groups and where they're from. So I'd like to just walk through them. If you guys could stand or put your hand up when I mention the sponsors and our chamber partners, I would appreciate it. So our gold members are Ambridge Regional Distribution and Manufacturing Center. Thank you. CCBC, always. Housing Opportunities. Thank you. Lennon Smith. There you are. Vistra. Our Silver, Beaver County Corporation for Economic Development. Clearview Federal Credit Union. Express Employment Professionals. Fry Transportation. Heritage Valley Health System. Penn Energy Resources. Penn State Beaver. Private Industry Council, Dads Matter. The Pennsylvania Cyber Charter School. There you are. And our media sponsor is, of course, WBVP, WNBA. You guys are the best. They're really, it's unbelievable what they do and what they do for this county and honestly for the chamber. So thank you so much. Also, I want to go through our 2025 partners, chamber partners. It's a new initiative we've got. We have kicked off this year. Katie Klaber will talk a little bit more about it, but I certainly want to make sure I recognize those that have overwhelmingly already jumped on board. So The Right Promise, Shell Polymers, Monaca, Tusca Plaza, Shop and Save Tusca Plaza. Our Rivers, Michael Baker International. I know there's a big crew of you here. There you are. WBVP, our Bridges, Comcast. There we are, back. Eastern Atlantic, I always say this one, I gotta say it slow. Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters. Can we shorten that just a little? I always say Carpenters Union. Okay, good. Fry Transportation, Push Beaver County, Tenaris, the Klaber Group, and West Banco, and Strasburger, McKenna, Gutnick, and Gefsky. So thank you all. I say this all the time, but it's true. Like, none of this can happen without that support, for sure. We can't hold these events. We can't create the buzz that's going on in here. It's really exciting to see that. Like personally, I've already been able to know that I wanted to talk to this person and introduce him to this person, and these events are so perfect for that. I was able to do that 3 or 4 times myself. I'm hoping that that's multiplied by 100 times with all of you needing and wanting to talk and networking with one another. So I appreciate all of you being here. I appreciate y'all buying a ticket to be a part of this. The State of the County, to me, is a special event. It's great that our commissioners are willing to come up and have a conversation and answer questions. And we've changed the format up just a bit this year. We've heard some of the voices, and we've listened to a desire for a couple changes. So we'll have the commissioners, just a quick run of show, we'll have the commissioners answer some questions and talk for a little while, and then we're going to bring up our state representatives, Senator Vogel, come up and kind of do the same sort of thing. So we'll be able to mix it up. There are some questions in the past that our commissioners can't answer because it's really not under their purview. It's more under a state purview, that sort of thing. So we thought it'd be a great idea to bring in those that represent us at the state level to come in and maybe help try to answer some of those questions. So we've heard you, and we've tried to make some changes. Please, you guys, those that know me well. I have no problem taking criticism. I really like thanks and that sort of stuff. That's great, but I'll take the criticism as well, and we'll continue to make this one of the best events that the county has every single year. Last thing I'd like to do is, if everybody that's a member of the Beaver County Chamber Board, if you just stand up real quick so that I could just get you a round of applause for everything you've done. Oh, wow. Yeah, thank you all so much for your dedication. I've been on the job now for, 7 months-ish, somewhere in that range. I have a spectacular board that's always willing to help and pitch in and do what needs to be done to keep moving this county forward. This county, which, by the way, is the greatest county in the country. And I will continue to say that until everybody finally starts to believe me. So that being said, the first thing I'd like to do is I'm going to introduce two of our board members to come up and talk a little bit about the Chamber's goals, our government affairs priorities for 2025. And we'll go from there, and then we'll jump right into, because we're just a little bit behind. No pressure, Katie. Just a little bit behind. And we'll jump right into the real important part here, which is being able to talk with our commissioners. So if Jim Graff from Vistra and Josh Konachek from Tenaris would come up, we would appreciate it.
I didn't know we weren't the important part.
You need to grab this.
I just found that out.
You need to put this
Oh, do I?
so they can hear you. Just clip that on there.
Yeah, apparently we're going to go one at a time then. All right. Good morning. I'm Jim Graff. I'm one of the co-chairs, along with Josh, of our Government Affairs Committee at the Beaver County Chamber. And also like to reiterate what Lance said. I want to welcome everybody to the state of the county this morning. And thank you very much for taking some time out and sharing our vision, Josh and I's government affairs vision of engaging with our local government. And of course, we thank all our officials for being here today also. It's going to be a very good event. We're going to be able to hear a lot of what we need to hear and what we want to hear about the state of our county. So again, thank you. Josh? You got a little tiny microphone?
Thank you, Jim.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Thank you.
That's for the radio. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me, guys. Hi. So as Jim said, we've recently updated our government affairs priorities for 2025, and they are on the screen over here to my left. If you follow them throughout the day, you can catch up on them. And we've recently updated them for 2025, and they are as follows. First, we're going to actively support ongoing education initiatives in Beaver County from preschool through post-secondary education. And number two, support the ongoing implementation of broadband access to all parts of Beaver County. This is something we're very proud of. You've been following along with us. We're leaders in the nation. I'll say it. We're leaders in the nation on this. We're very proud of the broadband work that Lance and our teams have done throughout the past couple years to get that done. Third, we're going to work with county partners to increase the vitality of our main streets and continue those initiatives. And last but not least, we will serve as the voice of our members for a competitive business climate at the federal, state, and local levels of government. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you for support of Beaver County and the Beaver County Chamber. We appreciate you. Thank you.
I got to introduce Katie. You want to? Yeah. All right, and with that, we'll introduce our moderator and our illustrious board chairperson, Katie Klaber.
Yeah, Lance didn't share that with John Delano unfortunately being ill, you get me. Without quite the experience, I really had prepared an intro for John, he just retired end of last year. 30 years is really a leader, and the number of presidents that he's interviewed here in Western PA and in DC, quite the illustrious career, but hopefully he'll be well by next year and we'll have him back again. But thank you to Josh and Jim. They've done a great job bringing the government affairs priorities really integral to the work and the goal setting of the chamber. And of course to Lance. That 7 months has been a wonderful whirlwind of time working with Lance. We are very thrilled and we thank the commissioners for not getting too upset when the chamber asked Lance to join, but it's really been a pleasure to have him leading the group and to have Molly continuing to do the great work she's done for all of you on a membership basis. The Lance had referenced the year-long partnerships, and for those of you who have already stepped up and engaged with the Chamber in that way, thank you so much. It's a capacity building effort, but it's also it's letting the Beaver County Chamber and Beaver County start to really engage in a way that we deserve, both in the state and the region. I also really want to thank Lou Velati, the CED, and his board. One of the things that's different about Beaver County than some of our surrounding counties is that the Chamber and the Economic Development Function are two separate organizations, which is fine, but with the new building that the CED bought just a few doors down from the courthouse and the Chamber moving their offices there, we are at the beginning of a new era of collaboration between the Chamber and Economic Development, and there's so many synergies there that the sum of the parts is much greater. So thank you, Lou. Really looking forward to some great activity in that hub of business leadership in Beaver County. The last thank you before we get going is to those of you who submitted questions for today. The format that we've changed a bit is getting all those questions in ahead of time, and we had about 20 of them, so thank you to those of you who did submit. Some of them will be going to the commissioners, and some will be going to our state delegation, and some will go to both, but as Lance pointed out, we really wanted to make sure to cover both that county and state level of government and the kind of things that you want to hear about that. So without any further delays, let's get into the real meat of the program. I think everybody in this room knows Commissioner Dan Camp, Commissioner Jack Manning, and we are sorry to have Commissioner Amadeo not with us today, but he sends along his regrets. He's been a very important third leg of the table here in the past, and we'll see him again in the future. But I would like to start off with our commissioners, really asking them to each take 5 minutes each. What are they most bullish about for the year ahead for Beaver County? What areas are they going to be working on because it really needs their attention? And of course, any of the government affairs priorities that Jim and Josh shared with us that you think the Chamber can and its members can lean in and help you accomplish as icing on the cake. So, Commissioner, please.
Thank you, Katie. Excuse me. Can you hear me? All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm still trying to find out if everyone is here to see Jack and I, or because we changed the format, the Senator Vogel, Representative Kale, and Representative Kozak.
They're all here for you.
I will tell you what, this is a great turnout that we have here today. Is this on? All right. As I enter my 10th State of the County address here, the majority of it being at the Fez, it's an honor to sit here today before you again and reflect on the challenges, progress, and the future of Beaver County. First and foremost, I want to thank Katie, the Beaver County Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, Lance Grable, the new president, and most importantly, the members who are here with us today. Your dedication and commitment to Beaver County is truly commendable. Special thanks to John Thomas, Steve Crivelli, the staff here at the Fez, for providing a fantastic venue that continues to showcase Beaver County. Your hospitality and service does not go unnoticed. Commissioner Manning, Commissioner Amadeo, and myself, we act as a unified board that understands the importance of our business community and workforce across the southwestern Pennsylvania region. While many issues, as Lance said, may fall outside of our purview, there's no doubt that we support the efforts to drive progress and opportunity here in Beaver County. Over the past 2 terms, and even before Commissioner Manning joined me on this side of the table, there was a dedicated group that formed to advance education throughout Beaver County. Through their advocacy work, and now under the leadership of their new CEO, Jennifer Marino, one thing we are proud to talk about that hits on your key priorities is our investment of $300,000 over the next 2 years to flourish Beaver County. These efforts will strengthen collaboration between Beaver County school districts and higher education partners, creating programs and initiatives that connect rural world students to rural world opportunities. Last month, our nation celebrated School Choice Week. We must continue to recognize the diverse educational opportunities that we have here for all of our students at home, in Beaver County. Alongside of our very strong public school system, we are proud to offer a variety of educational services through secondary education and our 4 public charter schools that we have here in Beaver County. PA Cyber, Lincoln Park Performing Arts, Baden Academy, and recently Midland Innovation of Technology and Charter Schools. Beyond education, we continue to foster strong relationships among our community development leaders and organizations, state agencies, and municipal leaders to enhance our main streets. Our commitment to supporting municipalities include financial assistance, blight removal efforts, streetscape improvements, and much, much more. For example, if you take a walk down the main street of Ambridge, you'll see firsthand of a significant transformation taking place. Under the leadership of their mayor, council members, and borough manager, these changes have become a reality. Proof of what can be accomplished when we work together for the betterment of our communities through Beaver County. As commissioners, we wear many hats, but most important responsibility is improving the quality of life of Beaver County. Over the past 4 years, we've made significant investments to strengthen our communities and infrastructure. We've allocated over $20 million towards expanding broadband access, ensuring that residents and businesses have connectivity in today's digital world. We've also invested up to $20 million in municipal infrastructure, supporting critical upgrades, enhanced public services, and local development. Additionally, $16 million, you can take that. Additionally, we invested $16 million that have been dedicated to disproportionately impacted communities, ensuring that no part of Beaver County is left behind. Beyond these investments, we have prioritized human services and public safety, making sure that they are well funded and meet the needs of all of our Beaver County residents. We've also completed many key upgrades to county facilities through strategic capital improvements, ensuring that our public resources are modern, efficient, and well maintained. These investments are not just about dollars spent, but they are about securing a stronger, more connected, and more prosperous future for all of our residents in Beaver County, doing so while keeping taxes low. Commissioner Manning and I will be addressing a variety of questions, some directly within our purview and many that will extend it. One thing that we must make very clear as a board: we are only as strong as the dedicated individuals that we work alongside us in the courthouse every day. Our fellow elected officials who are here today, our many department directors and heads play a crucial role in guiding us to make informed decisions that impact the lives of Beaver Countyans. Their experience, hard work, and commitment to this county are invaluable. Many of them are here with us, and I want to take a moment to personally thank them for their service. And I want to let one thing know that Beaver County's doors are always open for business, and today and together, we will continue to build a more stronger and more prosperous future. Thank you.
You want this one? I'll put it right here just in case it dies. There you go.
Okay. What he said. Seriously, I would rather just build on what Commissioner Camp said and talk about some other things, and start by saying I don't want this to sound like a campaign speech, because many of you in this room know that I'm not running for office again. But I do have to acknowledge the success we've had and where I think the state of the county is, based on my experiences, based on the obstacles we've overcome. I mean, let's face it, success is a measure of where you started and where you are today. And there are a lot of obstacles that we overcame collectively as a county, as business owners, as nonprofits, and as commissioners to get to where I think we are as a county. And it starts with that we are sound and stable financially, and that we also are trending in the right direction economically and in our overall quality of life. And I defy anybody that's out there in our river towns and our townships elsewhere to tell me differently from where we were. Think about the obstacles we overcame. Obstacle number one, we inherited a court-mandated reassessment that we knew was going to be difficult and tumultuous, and it was. But through the dedicated efforts of our assessment office and a whole lot of people, it was much better than what was historically told to us and what we thought it was going to be. I mean, Josh, I don't know if Josh is here, but You know, 90,000 parcels being reassessed since the 1980s, with an assessed value of $2.2 billion. We're now at 15.6 billion or so dollars worth of real estate. We have 5,600 and some appeals. 564 cases went to the courts the first year. This year, we've had 600 and 60 some appeals and about 168 gone to courts. So obviously we've done something right and got over that hurdle, but it was an obstacle that we had to get over. Obstacle number 2 was 2 months into my first term, there was something called the pandemic. That slowed growth, that created downstream issues that are still lingering today with inflation and labor shortages and a whole host of supply chain issues. A lot of projects were put on hold, higher interest rates. There was a lot of things that slowed the growth of Beaver County. But despite that, the resilience of Beaver County and how we overcame and persevered through that. Obstacle number 3, we literally did not see that train coming down the tracks 2 years ago. Huge obstacle. And when you're trying to sell Beaver County, I was just talking to Patty Horvich earlier, and all the great assets, all the great amenities, all the great people, the great labor force we have, and what its headlines is, you know, things like the pandemic aftermath and the Norfolk Southern train derailment. It's tough to overcome that, but we are overcoming that. As Commissioner Camp said, I defy you to drive through Amherst, drive through Beaver Falls, drive through Monaca, drive through downtown Beaver, Bridgewater, and see what's happening. The retail business are coming back. Those downtowns are being vibrant again. Drive through Hopewell and Center and Chippewa and Economy and all the different communities and see the new housing developments, see the new parks, the new amenities that are being brought forward. And you can't help but get excited about the future and where we are going economically. We've had significant investments. Won't get into the details of all of them, but there's more interest in Beaver County right now and our great assets and great amenities than at any time that I can remember in the 25 years that I've lived here. So you'll look at the opportunities we have forward, and we'll answer some of the questions that I know were brought forward that will address some of those issues, some of those great programs and projects that could come to the area. But we've had significant investment over the last several years, especially since 2015 in Beaver County. It's the envy of all the other counties in the Pittsburgh metropolitan area. I can tell you that because we hosted a visit to the cracker plant and told our Region 2 folks, all the counties in the 10-county area around Pittsburgh, hey, would you like to see a tour of the cracker plant? They couldn't wait to get on that bus to take a tour. We thank our friends at Shell for doing that. They'd love to have an asset like the cracker plant in their facility and saw all the stuff that comes along with that. So we've got a lot of great things going on. We still have our commitment to run the county with fiscal responsibility within our means, just like you run your businesses and your households. And we've done that successfully. As Commissioner Camp said, we've divvied up the almost $92 million of ARPA funds. 78% of that went back to the public. By law, we could have recouped and saved that in the county coffers, over half of that amount. We chose not to do that. We chose to put it in the community with municipal infrastructure projects, with public safety and health issues, and the like. We're very proud of that. I can tell you a lot of counties in the region tapped into that money just to keep their operations afloat. I think it's a credit to everybody that preceded me as a commissioner and Dan, Tony, and I now about how we manage the finances at the county and be able to do that reassessment, not raise taxes, and continue to live within our means and still make progress on a whole lot of fronts, including the broadband and all the other initiatives. And I think another measure of our success is everybody said, well, what are you going to do with all those hotels when Shell leaves and all that stuff? Well, our hotel tax went from about $308,000 in 2015 to over $1 million we collected last year. And I know the final numbers aren't in, Tony, but we're going to be close to $1 million again in hotel tax revenue, which again affords us the opportunity to improve the quality of life in Beaver County with all of the great programs, all the great tourism stuff. Our tourism is a great measure to me. You look at all the great events that we've been able to do in the last several years. Boom on the Bridge, the Maple Syrup Festival coming back. Again, another pandemic fallout there that came back. All of the different marathons, triathlons, just so many people interested in using the great assets and amenities we have here that are important to the quality of life. So the only two areas that are doing a little bit better than us in the declining population growth and job creation and stuff is Butler, which is really Cranberry, and Washington County, which is really Southside. Well, we're not Southside, we're not Cranberry. And most people I talk to say, we don't want to be Cranberry, we want to be Beaver County. And I think we're doing a good job of maintaining the green space we have, the farmland, the ag business, the small town feel that we have in our legacy riverfront towns, and the smart growth we have in our townships. And that's my commitment to you is that's how we're going to manage these next 3 years that I'm here. And if you don't have enough specifics, we did pass a comprehensive plan, focus, and it outlines all of the major initiatives and things we're doing, some of which have already been talked about here with blight removal, revitalization of the downtowns, energy production, energy infrastructure, and the like. So I don't know if I went over my 5 minutes or not.
You did, but that's okay. But you also hit a few of the questions.
I'm trying to do a lead in and get back on track after Lance had his off track.
Well, me too. No, you really did. It was great to hear about the property reassessment. So I'm going to not ask that follow-up question because, Jack, thank you for those numbers. We did have a number of questions that I think you both can address kind of, together, which is really the interest in, what are the economic development projects? We know they all can't be discussed openly in a forum, but the types of, construction projects, the types of jobs that you see coming in 2025 and beyond for Beaver County. And, the financing, we had a few questions about, are we getting the financial investments here that we need to prosper? So kind of that big picture, if you could just take a minute or two, that big picture economic development question.
Again, there's a word. Okay. There's a lot we can't talk about, but again, there's more interest in our brownfield sites. But not just that. If you look at the housing projects that are going on, we've got the great project in Monaca, the Monaca Lofts that's going there. We have a project that we're hoping to start in Rochester with senior living. There's one in Aliquippa with the old brick site that we're trying to do. Affordable housing is a big issue and something that's in our comprehensive plan. Those are some of the things we're doing. But then, again, you look around at the interest in people coming into Beaver County with the new homes being built in Economy and Chippewa and Center and Hopewell and Brighton Township, different places. There's a lot of construction work, the trades, the building trades. I'm happy to see that I believe the CTC's enrollments of the Career Technology Center because we need more carpenters, electricians, welders, and the like. The home repairs and the kinds of things that we're trying to do through the community development program. There's a lot of those good family sustaining jobs that are going to be available there. The other thing is, again, process technology with the advent of Shell and the stuff that CCBC is doing. A lot of these jobs require similar skills that are coming in on a smaller scale. You look what Tenaris has done with BMAC trucking, PGT trucking, and those kinds of things. There's a great need for drivers with CDL license in the trucking industry and stuff. Those are good jobs, good paying jobs. Those are some of the places. And then there's been this labor shortage in the critical care, healthcare field, still an issue, but we're trying to overcome those as well.
Commissioner Manning said it. I think if there's a lot of different engineering firms, architect firms here today, and they understand, but for the general public, if you attend your local council meetings and even county commissioner meetings or planning commission meetings, I know, for instance, we have Mayor Joy here, who's recently the council president of Big Beaver Borough. For a long time, we've been looking to develop the Turnpike Distribution Center. We've recently engaged with CED to work on putting a LERTA in place because we know what it takes to drive these larger companies to Beaver County. Obviously, as Katie, as you said, there's many things we can't talk about. I feel like we sign an NDA or sign our name on many things every day. But if you go to these council meetings, you talk about housing developments. Every week on a municipality's agenda, there's probably something where they're voting on a zoning change or a variance because these housing developments are starting to come from the Cranberry area, come from the Allegheny County area, because they want to invest in Beaver County. And with that comes is jobs, but it also comes families that are going to grow our school districts, bring tax revenue into our school districts as well.
Well, thank you. And that certainly that crossover between the business and the quality of life has come through in your comments. Let's talk about infrastructure a little bit. There was a question about this Freedom Road Improvement Project. Those of us who grew up here know Crow's Run. I just went up there yesterday. We had dinner with my parents in Cranberry, and it really, really made a huge difference. The question was really that Beaver Countyans know this took a long time, but they don't understand the why. And I think this is more of an infrastructure development question. Can you talk about these types of projects, lessons learned, and how do we make this an even more streamlined process as we put in more infrastructure projects going forward?
Commissioner Manning and I know we have some other board representatives who sit on the SPC Southwest Planning Commission. Many years ago, that project was put on the tip, which is future planning for infrastructure, roads and bridges in Beaver County. I think one of the most common things for that project is probably permitting, land acquisition, and also earth moving. Many of you have driven that road every day. We go to New Swickley, Cranberry area. You realize how much they had to do that. But obviously, it's probably permitting whenever it comes to speeding these projects up. Having the foresight to see what's going on. Commissioner Manning has been advocating for our Ambridge-Aliquippa Bridge. That's something we are putting onto the tip and, to replace that. I'm sure he'll be able to discuss it, but it's almost 100 years old. That bridge many years ago was almost $500 million to replace. So it's gonna be something, because that's a main artery to connect Ambridge to Aliquippa, one side of the river to the other. But obviously I would probably say the permitting process and also just the size of the project is probably what took so long for Crow's Run Freedom Rider.
Right. And Jack, before you respond, you can talk about that more if you want, but let's throw in two more infrastructure issues that are really important. Number one is what Lance referred to, the broadband, and is certainly part of the Chamber's goals and objectives to support the county, support Michael Baker in that work. So that's infrastructure. We don't always think about it, but it is important infrastructure. And also the county parks. Real gems. We had a question that came in about how do you go about maintaining these parks, upgrades to the ice rink and all the rest of our county parks, and how important they are to the county.
Okay, I'll probably forget two of those three, but no.
It's the infrastructure big question.
Let me go back to the. I think this is it not working? Okay. I think this is a good time to really talk about that, and I have to give Governor Shapiro credit on this. We actually have seen that operating at the speed of business take place in the last year. And the permitting and the collaboration we're getting with DEP to streamline things is improved drastically. Still has a ways to go, but it's also a chance for me to give a huge shout out to the Conservation District, who is a vital part of these permit approvals and stuff. And I gotta tell you, the Conservation District is as competent as I've ever seen it in the 25 years I've been there. Under Jeff Flug's leadership and the staff there, they are on top of all this. They have a tremendous working relationship with the DEP because they are really part of that process. They've earned the trust of the DEP when they do things now, and that's helping improve and speed up things tremendously, Katie. So a big compliment to those guys and how they've helped with that permitting process and to get us over the hump on some of these things. In addition to our own planning department staff, Dan Dissler and his group. And they work closely, obviously, with Michael Baker. Michael Baker, if you haven't seen our GIS system, continues to add different layers of things on top of that, so that anybody coming in and wanting to develop Beaver County can get a real full understanding of all the properties, all the parcels, all the businesses, where the broadband's available, where connectivity's available. They're even starting to work with our history and landmarks folks. We're now going to have a layer of historic buildings and markers in Beaver County as another way to talk about tourism and recreation and what we do. Investing in the parks has been something that all three of us as commissioners have not hesitated to do. And with some of that infrastructure improvement, putting water lines in and the like, upgrading the tennis courts, adding pickleball courts, the job that Tony Calatorre has done with the ice arena and different things, and drawing different groups in, from dog shows to triathlons to all kinds of amenities. People love our assets. I remember talking a couple of years ago to Jack Cohen, who was the head of tourism for Butler for a long time, and he said, I'm envious of what you have in Beaver County, to have those rivers, to have those parks, and those amenities. And we try to continue to maintain them. And clearly, during the pandemic, when everybody wanted to rush outside and be able to be outside, adding disc golf and all the different things we've done to help people enjoy the outdoors in Beaver County has been significant. And in broadband, we've done a remarkable job. We have great partners, great internet provider partners that are working on the two pilot programs. We're connecting Beaver County at a good pace. And it's also important to understand what's happening along the Turnpike in the Commonwealth with high-speed fiber that's being laid. It's a project that started in 2021. I invite you to go to the Turnpike's website and see what's happening. That internet, state-of-the-art fiber optics, data accessibility is coming right through Beaver County, right through the Turnpike, which we'll be able to tap into in Beaver County, which hopefully, along with our other internet broadband initiatives, will spur a whole lot of business development and really diversify some of the economy in Beaver County, in addition to the advanced manufacturing, the eds and meds that we're known for, and some hospitality. I think there's a lot more tech jobs that are going to become to Beaver County as a result of this connectivity.
That's a great infrastructure wrap-up. We have just a few more minutes before we transition to our state elected officials. Any other topics you want to make sure to touch on before we close out here?
Besides saying go birds, thank you. Yeah, we don't care. Yeah. But I just want to say this is part of the obstacles. Like, I don't know what a normal year looks like. I don't know, maybe Dan does. I don't think we've had a typical normal year. But things that don't help is today being dropped as some. Do you mind if I just touch on this, Kate?
Sure.
Some data analysis by some group I've never heard of called the Ohio Valley Institute. And I get an email from Climate Magazine, Climate News. Has the Shell plant been a disappointment for Beaver County economy, as the report claims? And my response is, I can't wait to push the send button when I get back to my office. But that would be a very emphatic no. Shell continues to deliver everything they said they do. If so, why? Shell put us on the map. Largest building project in history since World War II. They kept us afloat during the pandemic. Remember that? It completely shut down the state, and I went on. Are there other possible explanations for the economic decline since the Shell plant opened? Decline is relative, especially if you look at the other counties in the 10-county Pittsburgh region. And I pretty much told him that this report is utterly useless and serves no purpose other than to disparage and undermine the fine people of Beaver County who are doing tremendous work in unity to move us forward. How do you explain the population loss? He asked, how do you explain the population loss? Well, how do you explain the population loss in the Pittsburgh metropolitan area? more people are dying than babies being born. It's not a mystery to what's going on there. And we have a high dependency ratio and a 44.7 mean age. And he said, then he asked, our concerns, is it because of the population loss? Is it because of the concerns of the air quality of the Shell plant, as the report claims? That's totally absurd. We have no evidence that the 880 people who have left Beaver County since 1920 left because Shell is here. None. Zero. It's more likely they left in an urn or a coffin, or they retired to someplace down south, or they left for a better job, or they left for a place where they thought their kids could get a better education. I mean, those are valid reasons that we're working on. But to say that anybody in this room moved because of Shell? Anybody know anybody that moved because of Shell?
They moved in.
We have moderated our population loss comparative to everybody but Butler and Washington County. 880 people. We lost 10,000 people from 2000 to 2010. We lost 2,200 people from 2010 to 2020, and now we've lost 880 people. We've mitigated a lot of that population loss. We're moving forward. Beaver County is a great place to get a job, raise a family, have a great quality of life. This stuff is useless to me and a distraction. So.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you. I'll get off my soapbox now and turn it over to somebody else.
Not going to follow that up yet. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much, and I'm sure everybody in the room appreciates your time and attention and in participating in up to 10 years of State of the County. Thank you.
Thank you.
If the state folks
I couldn't
come on
resist.
up. Josh and Elder and Roman, if you could please join us.
Falling in love is one thing. Having anxiety about falling is a whole different subject. If you or a family member are concerned about falling, and yes, either up or down the stairs, or maybe even out of bed, St. Barnabas has a special message and some ideas just for you. Years of experience in working with people who are prone to falls has given St. Barnabas special expertise in this area. Call them at 724-443-0700 and learn about ways that you can begin to feel more confident and safe, including suggestions that you can implement right now into your daily routine. Call St. Barnabas at 724-443-0700. For many years now, St. Barnabas has been helping people fall in love, that is, with their new, better life, a longer life, a risk-free life. Call St. Barnabas now at 724-443-0700 or visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com and learn more about living longer and better.
Looking for that special home or wanting to sell yours? Let the Lisa Latham team, brokered by eXp Realty, help you. Hi, I'm Tank Latham, and our goal is to make you feel comfortable whether buying or selling. Lisa and I strive to make the process as smooth and as easy as possible. We invite you to visit the all-new eXp office located at 926 3rd Avenue, New Brighton. Give us a call at 724-307-5472. Check out Beaver County home inventory on our website, lisalatham.com. The Lisa Latham team, results that move you.
We have Art Cornell here from the Beaver Cemetery and Mausoleum. Art, what's new at the cemetery?
We've just completed a new addition to the mausoleum with above-ground burial crypts, indoor and outdoor niches, and family areas. The Beaver Mausoleum advantages include no plot maintenance, the convenience of a heated and air-conditioned building for visitation, and an adjoining private chapel. It's a perfect final resting place for your loved ones.
Thanks, Art. Beaver Cemetery and Mausoleum, serving all of Beaver County since 1865.
Put freedom in your future. Freedom United Federal Credit Union in Rochester.
There's lots to look forward to with the brand new year, but having your furnace break down isn't one of them. Baby, it's really cold outside, and that could spell trouble when it comes to your HVAC. It's comforting to know that McGee Heating and Air Conditioning is always ready to help. They have everything it takes to keep you safe and warm this winter. In business since 1965, family owned and operated, McGee Heating and Air Conditioning, Main Street, Aliquippa. Call 724-375-5181 for repair or a free estimate today.
The place for news, sports, and entertainment. You're listening to Beaver County Radio, 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP, coming to you live from the all-new Fry Transportation Studios.
Senator?
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having us here. I know this is a new format for you. Butler County and Lawrence County have done this for a couple years now, so this is the first time Beaver County's had representatives do a legislative breakfast like this. But I want to thank everyone for coming. Thank Lance and Katie for being here today and running this thing for us. Lance has done a great job for the first few months he's been on the job. We met with him in my office back a couple months ago and just picking my brain and having a good discussion back and forth what the chamber can do and new ideas they can use. Anything I thought that would help the chamber some, but it was a good conversation. I'm glad to see so many people here. A lot of people taking the initiative to come out and hear what we have to say, good, bad, or otherwise, I guess. And I also want to thank Josh Kale for being here and Roman for being here. And Josh Konachek is here. He worked for me for a number of years, and he's your legislative person, so you have a good person doing your legislative work for you as well, because he was a great staff person when he worked for me. But on the statewide level, and what I'm bullish about, I really don't know right this minute, because the governor's budget address was so disappointing the other day. To be bullish about anything is hard to do, I guess, because it was just a big fantasy, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, the amount of money he has booked into things that are going to not ever come to fruition is very disappointing, very disheartening. Obviously, we have a lot of problems in Pennsylvania, a lot of issues that need to be resolved, and for him to put out some of the issues he put out in his budget address was just, like I said, very disappointing. But I did have a couple of initiatives I got passed last year. I would just like to touch on briefly for a second, if I could. My telemedicine bill finally got passed. It took me 10 years to do that, but the governor finally signed that act into law for me. I appreciate that very much, because back in the pandemic, we realized telemedicine was a huge issue that really came to light at that point in time, and we just put the framework and guide rails in place to how telemedicine would be used in the state of Pennsylvania and who would pay for what. And it was basically the hold up a lot of times was the insurers were worried about who was going to pay and what they were going to pay and how they were going to pay, if it was going to be the same as an in-person visit, et cetera, et cetera. So we got that ironed out, and the governor did sign that last July, and I'm very thankful to legislature and the governor for finally being able to do that. And I have my sexual assault nurse examiner bill got passed last year as well. It's same nurses, the nurses that do the exams after a person has been sexually assaulted in a hospital, and we got that passed as well, because to have the exam done and done right, so if you do go to court in an issue like in your rape case or whatever, you do go to court while you have the right information in front of you and all the testing is done properly and everything, so you do have a good case when you do go to court. One other bill I had passed that took a long time as well was dog law updates. The dog law hadn't been updated in Pennsylvania in 50 years. So a lot of the counties were losing out a lot of money, because your same rates you were paying for a dog license in 1950, you were still paying in 2010 or 2020. So we got that updated. Plus, got the counties the ability to go online, so you can now get your dog license online. So please, everybody, make sure you pay your dog license. The state needs the money. That part needs the money. You can't believe it. Over 50% of the dogs were never licensed in the state of Pennsylvania. I mean, that was a thing we found out. It's hard to believe that over 50% of the dogs in the state were never licensed, and probably still aren't. But the other 50% would pay their license fees, while we'd be in good shape in the ag department. Right now, I don't know what else to say at this point. We'll wait. I won't take any more time. We'll wait and see what the questions are. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's off.
I think we're good now. Yes, thank you. Hi, everyone. If you don't know me, I'm Roman Kozak. I'm the new state representative in the 14th district, covering northern and eastern Beaver County. Just first want to acknowledge that Jim Marshall's here. My predecessor, great friend, great leader. Thank you, James. I don't know why it's not. There we go. Thank you, James, for all your work. We really appreciate everything you did for us in the county. He's going to continue to be active here with us, and it's really important. So I'm new to the state legislature. I'm learning a lot right now. What am I bullish on in the county? There are so many things for me locally that I'm bullish on.
I was involved locally at my local planning commission and various community groups through the years. And one of the things, ever since being a graduate of Geneva College, that really inspired me here in Beaver County was the grassroots efforts of individuals in communities. People who have generationally been here, their families, for many generations going back, have been here. My wife's family has been here for many generations, and the love that they have for their communities is something that's very unique. I grew up in the South Hills, and I don't want to go back there. It was a good upbringing, but Beaver County is special. It's very special in the Pittsburgh region, and that was one of the major reasons, besides falling in love with my wife, was staying here in Beaver County and building a family here, is because the people were amazing. And now I have an incredible opportunity to represent some of you guys here and the state legislature, and that's just a great blessing to me. I'm really excited about that opportunity. I'm excited about the way that the community comes together. The small businesses, the Main Street revitalization that I've been seeing since I've been here has been amazing, and especially in places like my hometown now, Beaver Falls and New Brighton. The work that's being done by the local councils is phenomenal. People are ready for change and people are looking for it, but the small business grassroots aspects of that change is what makes me really excited about the future here in the county, as well as the schools. And I mean the different diverse opportunities we have in Beaver County with our schools. If you don't know, I worked for PA Cyber Charter School for 10 years. Brian Hayden, our CEO, is a great leader. A close friend of his once told me that there is no one he knows that's more passionate about kids in public education than Brian Hayden, and we have him here in the county. So PA Cyber is a huge asset to this community, and I intend to make sure cyber education gets all the defense it needs in Harrisburg. Because I know what those kids, it's not a second chance school, it's a third and fourth chance school for a lot of kids. And they need that, and we need that. So I could keep going. There's a lot of other things I'm bullish about here in the community, but I really wanted to be about the grassroots efforts, and so many of you here are that reason why we are going the way we're going. So thank you guys.
Thank you. I don't know.
Yep,
It's on. Okay, there we go. I'm Josh Taylor. I represent the 15th Legislative District. Sorry if my voice sounds a little bit scratchy. I've been coughing the last number of days. One of the reasons why I am bullish on Beaver County is, and you guys just saw it in the last panel, we have excellent county commissioners and row officials in Beaver County. These guys and these girls that run our county government, they stick to serious issues. They make sure that they're doing the blocking and tackling of local government, and it's one of the reasons why we are going to have success. So I think we ought to give our commissioners and our row officials, who I've seen some here as well, a round of applause, because that is not the case across the board in every county. So my district is Beaver and Washington County, and I am very excited about what the future can bring to this region, but there's also serious obstacles to this region. Let me take you back to 2015 or 16 when the Shell facility was being built, and there was a lot of people saying that there's going to be billions and billions of dollars of investment once Shell is completed, and there's going to be things that are happening up and down the river. Industries are going to be coming to the region. You know, there was a similar plant that was built in Louisiana in 2012. It got finished, and there has been since then $154 billion of additional investment around that petrochemical facility. So there was an expectation that for this petrochemical facility there would be something similar, at least more investment around that plant. We have not seen that type of investment yet, and the question is why? And one of the reasons why is because of the pandemic. The pandemic just slowed everything down. But another reason why, and we've got to be serious with ourselves, and I think The senator mentioning the governor's budget address, he's absolutely correct. It was not a serious address. It was a 90-minute political speech that really had no connection with reality and isn't what the final product's going to be. But one of the reasons why we're not seeing that type of development is because we're losing to West Virginia and Ohio. Beaver County sees it firsthand, and there's nothing that the county government can do. It's because of what's happening in Harrisburg. If we want to get serious about the potential future in Pennsylvania, in Western Pennsylvania in particular, and we want to see that type of growth, and we want to see the jobs, we've got to get serious about a couple of different things. First is energy policy. The Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, an initiative that this governor has said is not the right thing for Pennsylvania, yet refuses to get out of. He has a habit of doing that, of saying he's for something and then doing nothing about it, or saying he's for something and doing the opposite about it. And we're still in the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, which is killing our ability to have manufacturers come to Pennsylvania, to develop here in Pennsylvania. It was mentioned earlier by Commissioner Manning, the permitting process, that it is getting better in certain parts, but across the state, it's still a huge problem. It is a massive problem. There is a permit that I know of in Washington County that's been out since 1981. And they've been going back and forth with the DEP since 1981. Back and forth, back and forth. The permit has not been approved. There are permits around the Commonwealth that are destroying industry, that are destroying growth because they haven't been given. U.S. Steel, and I know they're in the news now for other reasons, but U.S. Steel, when they're looking to invest $1.5 billion in the Edgar Thompson plant over in western Pennsylvania, Braddock area, $1.5 billion, so 1,000 jobs for steel workers, 4 million man hours. They couldn't get a permit for it. They eventually left and went to Arkansas to build it. And at a press conference, the governor of Arkansas gets up to the microphone and looked at the U.S. Steel CEO and said, "Sir, you'll have your project done in Arkansas before you would have had that permit approved in Pennsylvania." We have a reputation, and that reputation destroys our ability to attract investment in Pennsylvania. And Beaver County in western Pennsylvania, but Beaver County in particular, is losing because of it, because we do have so much going for us. We have these locations here in Beaver County that are ready to be developed. We have access to markets here in western Pennsylvania. We have access to capital. We have a resilient workforce. We have natural resources. We have energy right beneath us that we could use to make things, to build things. But we don't have a Harrisburg that gets it. The one thing that I am excited about in Harrisburg, even though we don't see the type of progress that we have, I think it is a good first step, is you at least have the governor talking about these issues. He is talking about permitting. He's talking about the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative and it not being where we should be going. He's talking about tax reform. But we gotta stop just talking about it, and we gotta start actually doing it, because we only have a certain window before these opportunities are going to be missed. Because eventually the investments are going to go to Ohio and West Virginia, and Beaver County is going to miss out because of it. So that's what I'm working on, to make sure that we can capitalize and get these jobs for this region. Thank you.
Well, these guys managed to touch on a lot of the questions that you all had, but I think let's focus in on this permitting issue. It's very important to chamber businesses, both at the macro large state permits. Also, we've got some members that have tried to do some Main Street development and have really gotten tripped up on some of the very localized permits that are really the purview of municipal permitting and everything in between. Maybe talk about permitting reform. Where are some ways that the people in this room can work with you, can work with the commissioners and their local, and maybe even we had a question about public-private activities, public-private partnerships, a very important concept. Frankly, that's kind of what all companies do, is have to work with the public officials. But are there some ways to work together that we could really crack the code on here in Beaver County?
me start?
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
Go ahead, go, Josh.
So as far as permitting reform goes, so it is a very complicated issue in Pennsylvania. We use the word, and it just sounds like it'd be simple, snap your fingers and fix it. It's complicated because in Pennsylvania we're a commonwealth, and what that means is that there's all these local municipalities and jurisdictions that have the ability to control certain things, and so you got to get permits at different levels, and it makes for a hard situation where there could be a lot of different roadblocks. But as it relates to the state permits, which is where most of our problems are coming from, there's a couple of different legislative fixes that we are trying, but I want to make something abundantly clear. There shouldn't need to be legislative fixes. These permits are being given out by state agencies that are completely controlled by the governor. And not just this governor, but the last one, the one before, and the one before that, and the one before. So we've had permitting problems coming out of the executive branch for decades, and maybe a century. And they could fix it if they really put their mind to it. They haven't. There hasn't been a governor that has really done it. So we're working on legislation. Basically, one of the legislative pieces that we're working on is what's called deemed approved, where if a permit's submitted, it's deemed approved, so long as it has independent approval, if there's no response within 30 days. The agency can give it an up or down within 30 days. It forces the agency to say yes or no. They can say no, they can say there's a problem, but it forces the process to go along just to give a sense of urgency. Those are the types of bills that we're working on in that regard.
So one of the things I'm learning as I'm new to Harrisburg and having these conversations with developers, in particular this last week I had a conversation with a gentleman who told me that in North Carolina their facility shoveled the ground and then finished when they were done was 2 years. So a permit here in Pennsylvania, that's like the application process basically, right? He said it's just not something that's feasible for them. And again, like Representative Kale said, that's the reputation we have. And that's something we need to consider is like, you know, we have these departments for a reason. There's good intent behind the DEP. There's good intent and reasons for trying to make sure that, you know, we have things that are clean, things that are built appropriately, things that don't take advantage of you know, resources that we have. But one of the problems is these are unelected bureaucrats in Harrisburg that get to make decisions on businesses coming or not coming. And they can be used as political favors and political leverage as to whether or not a permit can get fast-tracked. And I've seen this as a legislator already, like just in my own district office, with basic licensing for professionals. You know, they're waiting a month and a half. Just this past week I had a call, and it's like, I've been waiting a month and a half for my nurse practitioner license. I had my district office staff call professional licensure, and it was done. Why? Why do they have to come to me to have that happen? And think about that at a higher business level, right? We've got these special accolades for being able to, you know, get these things approved quickly, but that should not be residents should be able to get the things they need in a timely fashion. So I'm really concerned about bureaucracy, especially in Harrisburg. We're too big, we're too bloated, there's too many issues, there's too many political favors, there's too much leverage that's being used for political favors. And that's why the legislature has to come in and try to figure out ways to deal with this, because right now we have a governor that I don't believe is serious about fixing it right now.
Senator, you have a perspective from the other chamber. Going to work on these things jointly, I hope.
Yeah, we'll try. Yes, we'll try and work on these together jointly. Yes, but the governor, like Josh said earlier, he talks about, and I guess Jack talked about too. The governor wants to brag about working at the speed of business, but in reality, it's anything but. And like you said, the DEP is still a main hindrance, although they have done a lot better job of getting their backlog of permits taken care of and cleaned up. I can still tell you we've lost several different big projects in eastern Pennsylvania because of the permitting process. There was I forget, up in one of the tier counties, there was a gas generating plant. It was a $2 billion project. They waited 2 years for a permit and finally they said, screw it. They left Pennsylvania and went and built their gas plant in West Virginia. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that is very disheartening. They had the money, a $2 billion project to put a gas generation plant in, which we need the generation because obviously with the PJM grid and the taking so many coal-fired plants and gas plants off the grid because of the Reggie situation we have. That is a real issue. And also we lost 2 dairy processing plants in the eastern part of the state because one was during Governor Corbett's administration, the other was just here last year during the Shapiro administration for lack of, they don't have shovel-ready sites to do that. And it's really disheartening. We put money in, a special $15 million into a fund in the ag budget to be able to do something like this. Because I heard there was rumors this plant was going to come to Pennsylvania. And even when we put up $15 million, the state of New York still put up more than that, and we lost the plant to New York because of just the fact that our infrastructure wasn't up to speed to what they thought it was and how much faster New York claimed they could get this plant up and running for them. So those are just really disheartening things. But when you're private partnership, public-private partnership, so I just want to say there's one person I think in Beaver County who has done great work, and that's Mr. Chuck Betters. He's taken all the LTV, J&L steel plant properties, this tin mill site, spent millions and millions of his own dollars to get those site-ready properties ready to build on, and now they're booming with properties down there. Things building. Versatech is just coming in there now with another $40-some million to build a plant there. Those are the kind of things that are happening. And also another project that's not in Beaver County, it's right across the line in Lawrence County, is the Gateway Project, Westgate Project, right up on Route 18 above Coppell up there. They're on their 5th building up there. It was the old golf course up there, if anybody knows where that is. They're spending money to build warehouses and things up there because that's where the business is going. I mean, I think the corridor between the airport and the river is pretty well full on 376. To get north of the river here is where we're going to have to be more business built, and that's where the property is available to do that, and I think that's where things need to go, and hopefully we can get this permitting thing done. The Senate did just pass another Senator Yaw's Reggie elimination bill. We did pass that on Tuesday, but it's still been held up in the Supreme Court. The governor one stroke of his pen, he could eliminate the whole situation, but he let it go, so now it's tied up in the Supreme Court, so we'll see when the Supreme Court rules on it and what happens with it.
Wow, that's a lot. While you have the mic, Senator, we did get a question that's very specific about attention on infectious disease between animals, humans. If you could provide an update on the Department of Agriculture's plan to invest in an animal diagnostic lab in Western PA. Is that something that Beaver County could benefit from?
Yeah. Yes, most definitely. Yes, most definitely. That was put in the governor's budget last year. It's $5 million to build a diagnostic lab here in Western Pennsylvania, and I made it very clear to the governor's office and the Secretary of Agriculture that I wanted it to build at least on the I-79 corridor. This idea, I think they're going to build it in Bedford and say it's Western Pennsylvania, but that's not Western Pennsylvania in my opinion. These people have a warped idea of what Western Pennsylvania is. Anything west of the Susquehanna is Western Pennsylvania. Anyhow, yes, I believe so. The RFP has been out, it's back. I don't know where it stands exactly, but I know in building this lab facility, they were looking at putting it possibly in conjunction with a university. So I've heard the Penn State Beavers in the mix. I've heard Slippery Rock's in the mix. I don't know where it is for sure. In a week or so, we have the Secretary of Agriculture in for our appropriations hearings. I'm going to drill down on that and find out where it is. But I think that'd be a huge benefit for us because, like I said in different comments, there is the closest lab for anybody in Western Pennsylvania is State College, or else you go to Harrisburg, or else you go to the University of Pennsylvania. And for us here, with our farm here, we went to Ohio State a lot of times because it was closer and faster for us to get something done. It was 3 hours for us to get to Ohio State from here. We took a lot of our stuff and went to Ohio State versus trying to get to somewhere in eastern Pennsylvania. So building a lab here in the western part of the state for our agricultural industries will be a huge benefit. Hopefully, like I said, it gets built on the I-79 corridor here someplace, but I'll find out more in the future here.
Well, that's great. We'll keep an eye on that. So we have just about 5 to 10 minutes left before Lance wraps us up. So I'd really like to offer each of you an opportunity to maybe leave this group with some parting words, and I would ask that you think about how you would like to see this business community turned out here wonderfully today, very motivated to do what's right for their own businesses and for our county and our communities. So how can we help you get done what you're going to be working on this year?
Go for it.
Go ahead, Josh.
So I just want to reiterate that Western Pennsylvania and Beaver County, I think in particular, is positioned very, very well to have a economic jobs resurgence that is unparalleled in our region and unparalleled for the last number of years, decades. We have sites that are ready. We have the natural resources beneath our feet. We have access to markets. The best and most the most envied market in the world is just right here in the northeastern part of the United States, and we have access to it. We have railways that go to it. We have waterways that go to it. We have highways that go to it. We could be making goods and getting those goods to that market very quickly. And there has been a serious focus at a national level of reindustrializing the United States of America because of various reasons of what's happening overseas. And just the focus of this administration and the last administration on building things in America again. But America industry isn't going to be back unless Pennsylvania industry comes back. And in order for that to happen, we have to make changes in Harrisburg. And the way that you all can help us is to become advocates for this region, to become advocates for that type of change in Harrisburg by reaching out to your legislature, by keep showing up to events like this, by asking questions, and just staying involved in the process. Because there is a real opportunity here, but there's also a window. And if that window closes, then we're going to miss the opportunity, and we won't have the type of jobs and the prosperity that we should be enjoying. So just stay on us, stay on your elected officials, and let's get this thing done.
Well, another thing I'm learning very quickly in Harrisburg is I'm not an expert on everything at all. There are so many issues, so that's where you guys can come in as well, too. You have specific expertise in the industry that you're in, or the small business that you're in, or the community that you're in, and that's the kind of stuff we need to hear about. I'm an educator. I like learning, I like teaching, but I need to be taught as well, and you always have to be willing to listen and learn. So that's a way for us just to have those conversations, make sure that we have those relationships. And with that, kind of piggybacking off of that, I'm thinking in particularly of places like Penn State Beaver, CCBC, Geneva College, shout out Golden Tornadoes, where you at? So, Josh, how many yards per carry did you have? 3.6 yards per carry. We won't say how many rush attempts he had, but
Hall of Fame number. 12 years.
Saquon Barkley is jealous. So those kind of partnerships, I think if you're a business that can interact with those schools and have those types of relationships, career and technical education is huge. So in 2025, 7 out of 10 jobs that are going to be filled in Pennsylvania do not require a college degree. Okay, so in students, if you take at least 2 CTE classes in high school, 96% graduation rate. And I think we need to look at these opportunities and have these partnerships, whether it's small businesses or mid-sized businesses locally with those schools, and have those relationships where there can be a streamline of students into those businesses and get some more specialized, especially with our trades as well. Our trades need those. We need the trades. They are a huge part of revitalization in our area, and those relationships are going to be really important. So any ways you guys have ideas to make those work better, I think is something we can all work on together. So thank you guys. Thank all of you for being here. Thanks for all the work you do for our communities. I'm the new bald guy here, so there's a couple of us, right? A couple elected officials. I walked in the room today and someone's like, is that Danny or is that Roman? I'm not sure. No one said Jack. Jack's too good looking for that, so. But thank you guys.
Thank you very much, really. Senator?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for being here once again, obviously. I think the permitting, we've touched on several times through the county and us here as well. The permitting process still needs to be definitely worked on, fixed, speeded up. because that's where everything starts and ends at, is getting a permit, whether you want to put a little store on Main Street in New Brighton or Beaver Falls or someplace, or whether you want to get a piece of property and build a new business, expand your business or whatever. Those things are vital, and like Josh said, timing is so crucial, and timing is everything. I mean, if you got a chance to build something and you have a market for it, but it takes you 2 years to get your plant built, you might have missed the opportunity to capture that little niche that your market was going to be able to, your business was going to be able to take. So that's very important, and I think your legislative committee, it's a great thing. I see it's really up and running and doing better, and I think you need to really just stay engaged with your legislative committee here, and come to Harrisburg. I know they're planning on a couple trips to Harrisburg this year. Come see us in Harrisburg. I mean, that's, like I always said, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and you don't come talk to the squeaky wheel while you're not going to get any grease, so that's how it works. But doing that, I think, is very important. People like to see you face to face in Harrisburg. You get to know all the rest of your legislators, not only us here in the county, but we're just a small part of what it takes to get things done. I mean, obviously you need to meet leadership, meet the people in appropriations committees, things like that, chairman of appropriations, chairman of Senate Majority Leader, House Majority Leader. Those kind of people need to be met as well, even though they might not be your party. You still need to meet with them, show them your face, express to them your concerns, because at the end of the day, we all have to work together to get things done. And so that's how you get things done, is meeting face to face and talking to people and expressing your concerns to them. They might be an aha moment for somebody one day when you walk in and you're a small business in Beaver County and you're expressing your concern about an issue you have. Somebody might say, oh yeah, never thought about it that way. And that's how things get done. So I want to thank you all for being here and continue your good work, and have a good day. Thank you.
Well, gentlemen, thank you. Jim Marshall, we did go to Harrisburg in the fall to celebrate his retirement and honor him. And heard there were a lot of other chambers around the state that were saying, wait a minute, our chamber doesn't come and honor our retirement. So we set a precedent, and we were happy to do that for you in the fall. So thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen. Lance has got a few closing comments before you get on with your Friday.
Oh God, I can't see. All right. Once again, thank you all. Special thanks to Senator Vogel, Representative Kozak, Representative Kale. It's so difficult not to say Representative Marshall. We've said it for so long. So I'm saying Representative Marshall anyway still, because we still love you, Jim. Commissioner Camp, Commissioner Manning, thank you so much for taking the time. As I said, we reformatted just a bit. I already have some thoughts and ideas of how we could continue to make this better. Anything that you guys have, please let me know. Representative Kale mentioned, our row officers and that sort of thing, and how much work they do. And I wanted to make sure I took a second to announce my candidacy. It's for nothing. No. But what I would like is anybody that is an elected official, elected at anywhere, doesn't matter if it's a mayor, anything, anybody that is elected that's in here, would you please stand up for just a moment? Elected for anything, because that is so difficult. We appreciate you all. The elected officials are in the line of fire all the time. For so many different things, working at the county for as long as I did, really got appreciation for how many different things that elected officials have to deal with on a daily basis. So I really appreciate them. I think most of you probably know Molly here more than they know me. A huge thank you and a round of applause for Molly. I come up here and talk and act like I put this together, but really it was Molly. Sorry. She's spectacular. Thank you so much, Molly. Cool thing is again. Yeah, let's do it again. A cool thing is I talked about networking and how well it goes, and just during this time we've got 2 new partners. with Hometown Pharmacy and True Value in Rochester. That stuff really works, so please hang around for a little bit afterwards, do some more networking. We have a gala that's coming up here in March. We have a congressional breakfast that's coming up. I'd love to see you all there to continue this momentum and to continue to what we're doing. Like, it's important to me. Like, I get chills when I come in here and I see the people that I do. I'm so happy to see so many of them familiar faces and to get to meet new ones, because this county, once again, is great. And it's because of the folks that are sitting in here and all those ones that are already sitting at their desk and working towards making this county, making sure everybody knows how great it is. So we appreciate you all. Some of you please stick around for some photos. If not, please enjoy the rest of the time that we have. We have another like 10, 15 minutes, so please network and have a good time, and I appreciate y'all.
Put freedom in your future. Freedom United Federal Credit Union in Rochester.
It's a new year. Maybe it's time for a new vehicle from Falcone's Moon Township Ford. Your welcome will always be warm and inviting when you visit Moon Township Ford. The easiest resolution to keep this year is the resolution for better transportation. That's because Falcone's Moon Township Ford has made a resolution themselves. A resolution that is to provide the very best selection, the very best service, and the very best pricing in the entire area. Start the year off right for even less when you qualify for first responder, military, or college student purchase programs. Visit moontownshipford.net to find out more, or make a resolution yourself to visit the state-of-the-art showroom located on University Boulevard across from Robert Morris. Moon Township Ford has over 150 cars, trucks, crossovers, and SUVs in stock to choose from right now. Resolve for a bright and prosperous new year by starting off in a bright and beautiful vehicle from Moon Township Ford.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Looking for an elevated dining experience with a lively bar atmosphere? Jackson's Restaurant and Bar in Monaca is your go-to destination. Join Jackson's for Thursday Night Live, featuring top-notch local music. At Jackson's, they serve modern American cuisine with a fresh flair. Perfect for lunch, dinner, and now Sunday brunch from 10 to 2, plus Sunday dinner from 2 to 6. Located near the Beaver Valley Mall, adjacent to the Hilton Garden Inn, Jackson's is the perfect venue for your next wedding, bridal shower, birthday, or anniversary. Visit jacksonsbeavervalley.com for details.
When accidents and injuries happen, you need the experience and insight of the legal team at Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George. Since 1934, they've been committed to the physical and financial recovery of personal injury victims. Why choose the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George? Attorney Larry Kelly explains.
First of all, we've been AV rated by Martindale Hubble. It's the highest rating you can get for legal ability and ethics, and that comes from our peers. We have board-certified civil trial specialist, which is like another bar exam. Would you go to a doctor who is not board-certified? Probably not. I've always said, and I tell my daughters, I have 3 daughters who are attorneys. Those in the profession know. The lawyers of LGKG have the respect of our peers, and that's all I ever cared about.
For your free initial consultation, call the law firm of Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George at 724-658-8535 or online at lgkg.com. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George, keeping promises for over 80 years.
When you talk about community involvement and safety, the name Fry stands at the forefront in Beaver County. Fry Transportation's mission is to continue to raise the bar as the gold standard in their industry by providing the safest, most reliable, and cost-efficient transportation service in Beaver County through their strong relationships with their communities, best-in-their-class drivers, equipment, and technology. There's nothing more important than the safety of their students, employees, and community members. Fry Transportation, where the quality of their organization is characterized by the makeup of the individual behind the wheel.
Looking for home services? Call Patriot Home Care in Beaver Falls. Their staff provides company, conversation, and companionship to all patients, ensuring medications are taken on time, participating in fun community activities, personal care, meal prep, and light household work are all services provided by Patriot Home Care, all thanks to the hardworking and selfless team members. Call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or stop in Patriot Home Care, 1225 7th Avenue, Beaver Falls.
J. Young Refuse and Industry is proud to be an integral part of Beaver County for the past 35 years. Featuring a wide range of recycling services for contracted areas, they are sure to help you get the job done. The J. Young Refuse team of professional drivers consistently exceed safety and service throughout the day, while their customer service representatives take professionalism to the next level. J. Young Refuse and Industry offers both commercial and residential pickup as well. Call them today at 724-495-6199 with any questions. That's 724-495-6199.
Looking for a quick and easy lunch or dinner idea? Stop by your local McDonald's now and pick up a $5 meal deal. You'll get a McDouble or a McChicken, 4-piece nuggets, small fries, and small soft drink, all for only $5. You'll love it and your family will too. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
If you or someone you know is experiencing homelessness or a housing-related crisis in Beaver County, help is just a call away. The cornerstone of Beaver County provides a pathway home through emergency shelter, housing and utility assistance, and basic needs. To access help or to support the cornerstone of Beaver County's work to ensure housing and hope for everyone in our community, visit cornerstonebeaver.org or call 724-846-6400.
J. Young Refuse and Industry is proud to be an integral part of Beaver County for the past 35 years. Featuring a wide range of recycling services for contracted areas, they are sure to help you get the job done. The J. Young Refuse team of professional drivers consistently exceed safety and service throughout the day, while their customer service representatives take professionalism to the next level. J. Young Refuse and Industry offers both commercial and residential pickup as well. Call them today at 724-495-6199 with any questions. That's 724-495-6199.
Good morning, we're live at the Fez. You've just heard the state of the county with our state representatives and our state senator, Elder Vogel, Josh Kale. We had Jack Manning, Dan Camp, Roman Kozak was also on the dais today, and talking about the state of Beaver County. A number of business leaders here as well. Participated in the event, rubbing shoulders, holding, clasping hands, getting photos taken with the elected representatives. But it's all about you, Beaver County. And the question is, what did you learn about the state of Beaver County? Do you agree or disagree with the state of Beaver County? Sometimes you get the feeling it's like Groundhog Day. Again, the same thing over and over again. No talk about the future. Let's talk about the future of Beaver County and what we can do to make it better, to make the quality of life better for the residents here, cutting taxes and finding jobs to come to Beaver County. I want to thank the annual State of the County broadcast being brought to you by Fry Transportation Group, Falcone's Moon Township Ford, McGee's Heating and Air Conditioning, J. Young Refuse, St. Barnabas Health System, the cornerstone of Beaver County, the Latham Group at eXp Realty, Beaver County Chamber of Commerce, and Beaver County Radio. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being a part of this broadcast from Beaver County Radio.
Falling in love is one thing. Having anxiety about falling is a whole different subject. If you or a family member are concerned about falling, and yes, either up or down the stairs, or maybe even out of bed, St. Barnabas has a special message and some ideas just for you. Years of experience in working with people who are prone to falls has given St. Barnabas special expertise in this area. Call them at 724-443-0700 and learn about ways that you can begin to feel more confident and safe, including suggestions that you can implement right now into your daily routine. Call St. Barnabas at 724-443-0700. For many years now, St. Barnabas has been helping people fall in love, that is, with their new, better life, a longer life, a risk-free life. Call St. Barnabas now at 724-443-0700 or visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com and learn more about living longer and better.